Greetings, flesh creatures. It is I, Megatron. On behalf of TFYLP, I want to congratulate you for listening to the most refined collective podcast on this miserable little planet Earth. Yes. Here you'll find knowledgeable fans discussing every aspect of Transformers and beyond. Now, enjoy the show while I continue my path to complete conquest of all of you miserable biological entities. Predacons, terrorize!
Hi, welcome to TFYLP. What is it? Episode 572. We are live tonight. It is Tuesday, March 26th. I'm Lucas. I'm joined tonight by Anna.
Good evening.
And Rob.
Hello.
So, yeah, we got a nice little kind of microcasters, semi-microcasters today.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
I don't know if we can call it microcasters since Christian's not here, right?
Well,
Unicron trilogy, great. There.
There you go. He's too cool for a missing link.
How
Do you
does
not
he
get
not
it?
have this?
I don't think he knew where it would go in his collection.
Yeah.
You know how Christian really likes things to match and fit. And well, this is a little different.
It's actually a problem I'm having. Like, I knew I was going to get it as soon as I saw it announced, but I literally have no idea where to put it.
So let's dive straight the heck in.
Wait, we can't have 20 minutes of off topic? All right,
Nope.
maybe we'll circle back there in the end. So,
Convoy.
just to mention about the Missing Link Convoy, right? So, these are Dakar products. Oh, and I forgot my sleeve upstairs. But, like...
I got mine.
There are two versions of Missing Link, right? There is a toy version with the trailer.
Why are there balloons going across your video screen right now, Lucas? Sorry to interrupt you.
There's no
Did
video.
you see that, Anna?
I did. I saw the balloons.
There were balloons going all over your video screen like you had a chat filter or video filter on or something.
I don't know. I didn't see it on the broadcast, so...
I don't think it was on the broadcast.
I don't know. Somehow in Skype is a Skype-specific thing.
That's weird.
So anyway, as I was saying, no, like Rob's trying to give us off topic here.
That was weird. I had to call it out. I wasn't going to just ignore it.
Okay.
Anyway,
so there's two versions, right? So there's the toy version, which I believe that's what we all have, as far as I know. I don't know what Rob has. And then there is a toon version that is CO2. Is that the one that you have?
I have CO1.
That's
I have
the toy one.
Yeah, CO1. So I think we all have CO1 or whatever. So there's a toon one, and I know like there's other people with reviews of that up or whatever as well. So I think the deco is a little bit different on that toon version. I think the windows are slightly different. The tampos are different. The eye painting is different, I think. Does not come with a trailer and is also cheaper. I can't remember. What's the MSRP on... Is this 120? So I could check
on Pulse, they were 70 and 120.
Okay.
I just looked like the other day.
So
it costs almost twice as much to get the trailer and all the fixins.
Yeah. So, but...
And also, as Lucas said, the eyes are different. You get the yellow eyes that we all had in our toy as little kids if you buy the toy version, or the blue eyes that you saw in the cartoon. Personally, the cartoon version's kind of useless to me because that toy was never accurate to the cartoon, right? Like, it's just, no matter what you do to G1 Optimus Prime, he does not actually look like the cartoon, right? Like, the new toys that we're getting, that do a better job. The red figure looks more like Optimus Prime. The MP figure looks more like Optimus Prime. This is just the toy, you know? So I didn't really see the point in getting the toon coloration. I saw the point in getting the toy coloration.
I mean, I just wanted the one that had the trailer that was complete. And then it also has all the new molded detail they put in place to replace the stickers, like mainly the kneecaps and the forearms. Like those aren't painted on the other one, and they're painted on this one, and it looks really nice. And so that was another reason I wanted this one.
Right.
Agreed.
I'll ground her later.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you get this figure, even if you buy it from the US from like Pulse, you will end up with the Japanese box, right? Like we talked about before, what they just put these silly slip covers over it, the extra box. So you open a cardboard box, then you get this cardboard box, then you get this cardboard box.
I didn't get a slip. I don't have a cover because mine actually came from, I think, Amazon Japan directly.
Yeah.
La-di-da, Rob.
Before we move off the box real quick, you know, it's the classic Optimus Prime art, you know, and it's generally obviously pretty solidly themed around a G1 theme, all except, you know, it doesn't have transforming instructions on the top or whatever, but it doesn't have a flap, and that really bothers me. I really want it to have the flap.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it drives me insane. It just looks like it's missing something the whole time because of that. Other than that, you know, it's a nice retro box. But
Does the Japanese box have a flap? I don't think they do they?
Did they not? I just assumed all G1 boxes had flaps.
See,
I could be wrong.
They didn't on the Japanese ones because I was just seeing them at TFCon.
Okay.
This is why we need Peter here, because Peter would Peter would have given us a full history of all of the boxes or whatever throughout the years, and the fact that the 1984 and the 1985, and there's a variation on blah 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 blah. I'm sure of it. But unfortunately,
what the
Peter's
composition of the cardboard was. Yeah.
So maybe if someone in the chat, Zaldron or such, can you know, give us some information, because I did not prepare or look up what the
according
what the box is.
According to this eBay listing, yeah, it shows it without a flap. So
yeah, that's what I thought. Because I was seeing tons of Japanese. Because I was looking for stuff for Peter, so I was seeing tons of Japanese G1 boxes at TFCon, and they're just a different type of box, right? They had more of a, I feel like they were more like collectible boxes than ours were more like toy boxes, which is totally on brand for
plenty
Japan.
of the later ones at least do have flaps, because I can see them right now. But like, yeah, some of them don't, some of them do. Seems to be a mix.
Well, flappy. And that's one thing I really wish I would have looked up more to compare and contrast the differences in these boxes, because I mean, it does look pretty spot on from what I've seen to the original box. And like, I just really got that feeling as like as I open this up, you know, with the styrofoam, like who the heck has styrofoam anymore, right?
Yeah.
I can even get it out. But yeah, I don't know, like I still have not, and I don't know, Rob, have you guys like put together roller or not? So like I don't know, I feel weird about taking things off of sprues. Like I almost want to keep it pristine. So like this is kind of like what it looks like without the Optimus Prime. But with the trailer and roll and everything.
I did the same thing as Lucas. I didn't take roller out or put the things on him because
Well, then I can be the rebel. Meow, it sure is a roller.
Yeah.
He's very hollow underneath, which doesn't... I don't know if the original one is or not. It's over on my shelf. But...
Yeah, Rob, I invited you here so that you can compare and contrast, because I was also curious about this trailer.
There's a lot of differences.
Well, I was wondering, like, because I swear that is the trailer the same size, or is it slightly larger? Like, I feel like it's slightly larger.
I'm just gonna grab it. I'm just gonna grab it.
Um, overall, like the trailer feels very high quality to me.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
the only thing that I'm slightly annoyed by on the trailer, and I don't know your guys's, like mine has some
The
swirls in the
spirally
plastic
squishies. Yeah.
on the top,
Yeah,
like
the plastic is very swirly.
yeah.
I should note mine actually isn't original. It's the TF Club reissues from like the early 2000s.
Okay.
So I can only compare with that. And the roller does look pretty similar. The probably the biggest difference on roller is he has this little where you can make it have the light on top, where you can flip it around to store so he can cart the gun around, like the G1 toy, and cart the gun
Mm-hmm.
around. But yeah, if you don't want that, you can flip it over, and he gets a little wee wee. And of course, different color.
Well, was the original one silver or was it blue? Like that's why I wasn't sure if like the Japanese were again. These are things that Peter would immediately know.
Right.
I assumed it was blue, but I could definitely be wrong on that because I just got my club reissue, and that's what I've been looking at for.
Yeah, I remember it
At this
being
point, I've been looking at
blue,
this for
but
20 years. The club
Right.
reissue.
yeah, I haven't actually had roller with. I haven't had an Optimus at all in like 20 years, but I haven't
Well, I
had the
feel
roller much longer
I
than that.
I've never actually had my own G1 trailer. Like I feel like I've handled a million of these, like in like parts bins and stuff, and
Mhm.
just helping other people out with conventions and whatnot. They always have like a bunch of trailers, but like I mean, this is pretty accurate, I would say, to the
I can
original.
tell you, it is extremely similar from the outside, if not the exact same as the TF Club reissue. Is all I can tell you. Like there's,
Mm-hmm.
like it even has some swirly gray plastic. You
Oh, there you
know.
go. And does it feel? It pretty much feels like the same weight and everything.
Mhm. Yeah, they're the
Okay.
same size. I was comparison them and crap. Like
Well,
one of the big differences though is roller doesn't eject anymore, and
mm,
that
Yeah.
like here I'll hold them both up, like, and that's just like a big immediate obvious difference is that it doesn't have the launcher mechanism at all. So like, what are you gonna do?
huh. Well, and then it's missing that sticker too. Like I don't
The
know again
stickers
if
are
it's
in
just
there.
a G1. No, the
The
one.
sticker.
Like so hold
No,
up your
it's in
two.
the sticker sheet.
Oh.
Yeah, it comes with a sticker sheet.
Okay. Yeah, I have not
Now, like,
opened my sticker sheet yet. That's what. Yeah. So it comes with the sticker sheet with like a little card and the red text spec reader and everything.
yeah, and so like, just like at least again the club reissue from early 2000s, the Go sticker you can put on as well as like the little stickers around the inside, which I put them on my reissue one apparently, again 20 years ago. I didn't bother putting them on the new one, and I'm not going to. Um, like they don't really add much, because they're not like the stickers on the trailer. If there was like if they could sit inside a screen or something, so it looked like it was projecting on a screen, like that might look nice or
Right.
whatever. And they don't. They just look like a sticker. And then plus the Go sticker, you got to put over a bunch of molded detail, and it was just as
Right.
I don't love doing. Um,
Well, and that's the
so
thing. I don't know. It's kind of weird because like I just don't want to actually use sticker sheets anymore. If that makes sense. Like I
yeah,
almost
Yeah.
want to keep all of this stuff sealed, um, just the like collector in me. So like that's where it's I don't know. I appreciate that at least this part of the like the
yeah,
stickers are
the big
already
ones.
applied, so that the big ones, so that way I don't have to apply
Yeah.
those.
Same.
So Drone Friend, how different is Drone Friend on the inside?
I was just looking at it now. Like earlier when I was like, oh, there's big differences. I'm mainly just thinking about the launcher and a lot of the gimmicks on that, because to me that is a huge difference. But again, at least from the club one, other than that, everything's looking basically the same. Like the texture on the bottom is different, it's a shinier plastic on the original, where the new one, you'll notice it has kind of like a matte finish on the bottom. It's got kind of like a rougher texture. Not that any of this matters, right? But it's just, that's what I'm noticing as I look at it.
Yeah.
You know, and then all the other changes really just seem to be to get rid of the launcher. And the way it slides in is different. Like the way, this thing attaches and detaches. If this one detaches, maybe this one doesn't detach. No, it's screwed in. Doesn't detach.
Yeah.
On this one, it does detach. On the new one, I haven't gotten mine detached, though. It didn't want to play, and I didn't want to force it. But if I look inside, it has some little wheels or something on it, and that is not on the club reissue. Like if you look inside the little repair drone, I don't know what that's about.
Well, why are there wheels if it's screwed in?
It's supposed to detach on this one, I thought. On the new one.
Oh, on the new one.
Yeah. I swear I saw that in the instructions. And yeah, in the picture, the back of the box shows it detached as well.
Okay.
But I don't know. It doesn't easily want to come up, and I don't want to break my toy.
I guess it does show that. You're right. Yeah, I don't know. I feel weird about trying to do that, but yeah.
It slides forward to detach it.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Anna did it.
And I got it. Oh, thank you.
Slide it forward.
Once I knew what to do and felt confident in it, yeah. But yeah, he's got little wheels, which is new. And yes, Phil, the missiles would fire if I'd broke those off the sprue. But here, I'll take one from my reissue and. Oh wait. Here we go. It technically fires. It just doesn't go. The spring is really weak. That is. Okay, there it went for the other side. So they do, but it's not good like some of the knockoffs we dabble in sometimes, right, Anna? Where if you're in front of that missile launcher, you have lost your eye. It's just gone because it's so strong.
Yeah, this is not that. I like that it can detach, though. I don't know, that adds extra play value to me.
So yeah, so that's the big difference. There's no launcher, but this thing can detach. Whereas in the old one, you get a launcher for roller, but the thing is not detached, and it's actually screwed in. So yeah, that actually shows some. This is just the nerdiest, stupidest thing to talk about. But you can see on the bottom, the black piece at the top is different. On the reissue, it's this big wide piece, and that's actually screwed in to it sorry, other way around. This is the reissue one here. And so you can see how the screws are more narrow together. They're screwed into the repair drone on the other side. Whereas this one, it's wider because the screws are just into the base.
Past the repair drone.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Other than that, all the detailing looks exactly the same that I can tell.
I think it's fun because I really expected you to tell me that the shape of the repair drone was really different, because this is not what I remembered it being shaped like. I remembered it being more rounded, less blocky.
I don't know that the original one isn't different than my reissue, because again, I've just been looking at my reissue for 20 years and I don't pay attention to it at shows or whatever, so don't hold me to that. But
so one thing I will say is this is kind of what I wish we would have gotten for the when we got the leader class Optimus Prime with that junky trailer that came with the Earthrise.
Oh yeah,
leader one, right? And it didn't, and then it was not like painted as well, and then I had to spend like $20 in Toy Hacks stickers, and then like another $20 in like something else to like make all the upgrades so that it would look like this, right? And so I at least appreciate that it came with this, and it's like, why? And I'm sure that I know that a Commander class Optimus Prime coming series, and it probably will end up looking like this. But it's frustrating that I, whatever, like had to go, they didn't just do that to begin with.
Yeah.
But what can you do?
I agree with that.
Do we want to talk about the main feature?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, we might as well.
Main,
Let's
the
talk about the
actual main
guy.
figure, right?
Yee. I really do love the detailing and the new paint apps in the knees and the forearm and on the
Yes.
toes as well. I forgot to mention that.
I appreciate that these are all tampos.
Exactly. Super nice.
Yeah, it's
It
actually
looks-
really
just looks
cool
so
because
nice.
those were stickers that, like, you find your childhood one, they're going to be worn unless you
Mhm.
took pristine care of your toys when you were 4 or whatever. And yeah, all this being tampographs now. Interestingly, it also comes with stickers, so you could put the stickers over the tampos if you wanted to, but that's probably not a good idea.
That would be very stupid.
Well,
That'd be a weird thing to
I
do.
was going to mention too that the tampos also are like a metal flake, so
Mhm.
it's kind of shiny.
Yeah, they're a nice
as
finish.
well. So they just like the finish just looks so nice on it.
They're really attractive.
Yep.
I love all the new articulation they added. It's funny. It's silly, to take a toy this old, but like, I would have been okay if they'd even pushed it a little further to like fold in the back of his arms a little bit, so it doesn't just kind of like.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's the G1 toy, right? Anything that's G1 is fine, but like if they wanted to push it a little more, I wouldn't have complained. Other than that, like it looks like the way you remember Optimus Prime looking. Again, here's my reissue, and I'll show you awesome feature of my reissue. Bloop, bloop. That broke off way back, so very classic, right? It holds in place, but
Yeah, the shoulder and arm articulation is great. I like it. I like the fact the hands don't come off because then I don't lose them. Little
Right.
child me definitely did not have
Oh,
hands
that's super
for a very
cool.
long time.
and the ratchets
And
are
the
really
hands
nice, too.
actually, they just fold in a little bit on the side, so it
Yeah, he
doesn't
still
leave
points,
a
man.
giant chasm like you get on most mainline stuff these days, where you have the big holes in the wrist. He has little holes in the wrist, which aren't too bad. So that's better for me.
Yeah, so it looks like
And there's wrist swivel too, Anna.
Yes, he wrist swivels. He's got full arm articulation pretty much for what you would expect these days. The shoulders are nice.
the axe goes in, I think, in a kind of neat way. He like holds it like you would expect. There's a peg in there, but then it like collapses again underneath it, so you got a full sphere around his fist, which is pretty. And of course,
Yeah, it does look nice.
he comes with the matrix of leadership inside his chest now. Another place I would have been okay if they'd put more articulation in the head so that it could look down, up and down a little bit. That would have been
Yeah.
neat. But again, I'm not going to complain.
I feel like it's
Yeah, and I'm not sure how you have to push it to get it out, but I know the matrix assembly does come out if you want him to be hollow.
Oh, really?
You probably push pretty good. It's happy in there. You can
Yeah,
get the
I
matrix
don't
itself
really
out.
want to take mine out. I don't know how
Yeah.
to take it out,
I
but
mind taking the matrix out, but that's where I draw the line.
there
See,
we go. I got it.
Oh, okay. I don't want to do that. Okay, I did it. So does he have his normal seats in there so you could put your?
Yep, comes
Mic
out 2
in.
seats. You can put in your Cyclone Pilot-y guys.
Now that's different too, which that doesn't surprise me, right? But like, at least again, here's how the old reissue looks. It's a bit of a different shape for the for them.
Yeah,
Now,
so if that matrix holder is just staring at you and you're like, that wasn't there on the original, it pops right out. And, now it's just like now I just have a little matrix display stand.
So here's something I have with my reissue. I don't know if y'all even knew this existed, but there was a G1 upgrade kit for Optimus Prime, which includes a matrix and a matrix holder that you can put in his chest. So my G1 has had it for a long time.
Nice.
It, of course, comes with an axe and a jetpack from that thing from that episode, and I have his original hands in right now, but it also came with new hands that have a little ball peg in there, so it gives you a little bit of wiggle, with the wrist if you want to do other things with it. And the hand has, it's all in one joint there at the one knuckle that you can open the fist up if you want or whatever. But so my G1's always been a little upgrade, or for a long time.
Nice.
But this new one definitely gets all the balls.
More upgraded.
Does y'all's? So he has an ab crunch, and it is the tightest joint I've ever had in my life. Like,
I didn't realize he had an ab crunch.
Yep, he does. It goes forward a little easier than it goes back, in my opinion. But especially it's loosening up a little now, but it's.
I had no idea.
You gotta get mad at it a little bit.
It's definitely hard to move. I'm not a huge fan of it. I haven't really moved it very often.
I mean, it looks nice.
Yeah, it looks nice.
I was going to ask Rob, does this have the same amount of like die cast as the original?
Well, I can tell you, compared to the reissue, again, just to something. Well, actually,
Right.
I mean, on the reissue, the top of the cab is die cast.
Right.
The toes are die cast. That's all that like jumps out at me is obviously being die cast on the original, which is
that's all that was. Yeah, die cast on the original too. I think that was that. So
because I'm trying to think on this new one, are the hips die cast? Like, it feels like maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, I see what you mean. I'm using the cold touch technique.
Right.
Yeah, me too.
Those could be. You may be right. I mean, maybe they're not, but
the legs are not.
They're definitely a different material.
Yeah, the legs you can tell they're painted and were cut off a sprue or whatever. But that hip piece does have a cooler touch to it.
So the arms are pretty standard issue for articulation these days. When you get past the arms is when things get a little bit weird, in my opinion. He does actually have waist turning. He can't turn his waist very much, but his waist does turn. If it wasn't for this giant crotch piece in front, he would be able to turn more, but he can't. The wheels on the side lift up to give him room to move his legs, which is, you can pull him down and make his legs more stationary, or you can pull him up and let his legs move more. And the joint that I do not like on this figure is the hips, right? You pull the hips out to the side, and then there's no way to really fasten them at that point, right? They just kind of...
No, you just slide them until they stop sliding. And you're like, I guess that's it.
When you try to move the hips, if you look at mine, every time you move the hip outwards, that little piece of red plastic bends a little bit.
Yeah,
so
it's not
I'm
a good
just
feeling.
Worried that it's gonna eventually, get some stress marks.
Yours definitely could spread out a little more. Like here's.
I've got them about spread out as far as I can get them.
Yeah, I feel like
I think
a little bit more.
Same as mine.
Like I can see gaps between, I don't know, his reverse butt crack and his hip panel. Like I can see into the spot there. Like there's a gap there. And I couldn't see that on yours, but it also could just be webcams, right?
It could be, yeah. I feel like mine's pushed to the edge. It doesn't push any further for me.
Well,
but because what I don't like is when you move the hips, it does bend that piece of red plastic a little bit.
Yeah.
And, I do actually want to play with this because it's articulated G1 Prime and it's fun. My plan for this figure was to bring it and put it on my desk so I could have, like a more like, it looks less like I have modern toys later on my office and more like I have kid nostalgia stuff. And then I can actually mess with it because I do like to mess with the figures. But, the leg goes forward and actually goes a lot further than you would have thought. because they just built it that way. This is the big difference, is they rebuilt the hips. But just that little piece of red plastic when you try to extend the hip out to the side just makes me so nervous. I always support it with my finger.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very glad that they gave it the hip articulation they did, because you can spread them to the side and you go forward and backward some. But it is a super inelegant solution that they did for it.
Yeah, and if they were already going to change something, like I know they were trying not to change a lot of things of the figure. They were trying to make it look as much like the original as possible. But I think if they were already going to change it, they could have changed it well. They could have made it where it moves without being unstable, where it moves without being uncomfortable.
And to be clear, like, you can move it and pose it, but you just want to reinforce that other spot with your finger to make sure you're not putting pressure in a bad spot. And this is an expensive collector item, treated as such, but it is annoying at the same time. And here it is as a truck. Hong Kong.
It is as a back kick.
One thing that's nice about the new hands is, because they do fold in, and again, there's no magic here. They're right there, and they're just turned in and you pushed in, and so that the headlights are on the back of the wrist, and so now he doesn't have holes on the front of the truck,
right,
for his driving fists. And he has
unless you like the driving fist, then you're missing out.
Well, you can make him do driving fist if you want. You just don't fold the wrist
just leave
in.
Him out. Yeah.
And you have a little best of both worlds right there. He has a toe articulation as well. I don't know if you mentioned that, Anna. So you can.
I didn't mention it because you jumped to shark mode, but yeah, he does have toe articulation, so he has a little bit of tilt. I mean, he's pretty dang posable. Like, he looks good. It's hard to say he looks good posing, but he poses well.
Right.
For what it is, yeah, he's way more dynamic than the G1 one. Is he masterpiece levels of posability? No. Like, don't be silly. But it's definitely an improvement.
As I saw on the description, this is a masterpiece. So I thought I had sold all of my masterpiece, but apparently I bought one again. And I know that you told me
you were out.
Yeah. I said I wasn't going to buy any more masterpiece, and apparently here I am.
Well, you've been buying all those mini masterpieces on the main line for so long anyways, right?
Right. So
the Chuckster pieces.
Yep.
He can do all sorts of fun, dynamic poses that, like, you never expected your G1 Optimus to be able to do. And I think that's kind of like the appeal of this toy, is like all the things as a kid you just imagined it doing in your head, because you're like, Optimus is really flexible. He moves a lot in the cartoon. Like, he actually does it now. So it's just kind of cool to be able to do that with your G1 Optimus after all these years.
Unfortunately, you still can't recreate the box art cover, though. And I'm looking at it now. The tire is still on the side, but now his leg is like totally turned all the way to the around and behind it somehow. So that was definitely just some art cheat from back in the day, which is fine, but it's funny. But a lot of the other popular poses you can get done, which is nice.
You can get a lot of poses out of him, which is pretty. It's just something, like, I think for a long time we didn't think was ever going to happen, and now it did happen.
Here we are. Moon pies.
Kind of cool.
I mean, I feel like just in general, those you just get so much of a rush of nostalgia. It felt like opening this box, right? It almost felt like that I was holding the G1 figure. And so that's the thing that is cool. But like all of the annoyances that I have with the G1, like where having to worry about the fists, just the utter lack of articulation, and all that. I mean, this doesn't have. So
yeah, I was looking for a time to kind of I definitely got that kind of just real nostalgic feel, of opening it up. That's like, this isn't just a reissue Prime, which even
Right.
that, can give you a bit of that feels. But it was like, oh, I'm actually getting a new toy that is definitely G1 Prime, like super duper G1 Prime, and it just kind of, yeah, you just kind of got hit with it a little bit, opening it there in the kitchen. It was very cool.
I've actually really liked having him on my desk for the last week. Like, it's just been really cool to just have the freaking G1 toy standing there and I can pick it up and play with it. Right? Instead of picking it up and being like, I wish you moved. It's like I can pick it up and actually make it do things. And that is just cool to me to have that. Like,
Well,
it is hitting that point of nostalgia between getting a new toy and having your old toy again.
hmm It's a new experience with your old toy, but it's also, again, it's not just a reissue. It's actually a new experience. So I mean, I had fun
Right.
like popping the wheels off and putting together roller and stuff. Like that was part of the fun to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I
enjoy
feel
that
like
when I do it too.
there's some type of charm with the original G1 figures that I just don't feel like any of the modern figures can quite recreate. It's just some kind of like old retro look or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing I appreciate with this. I really hope that they actually kind of turn this into a line. It would be really neat to
Yeah.
at least get, like, I would love to see an Ironhide and a Ratchet, like with an actual head. Like if they
What would
actually
they?
put
I don't know what those would actually even be. Like, what would they do? Like how much would they have to change for that to fit in this line without it just being a chug toy?
That was my first thing I said to Lucas was Ironhide and Ratchet. That's what I want the next Missy Link
they
to
just
be.
give them a
Screw
head.
Megatron. Forget Starscream.
Right,
Who needs those? I want Ironhide and Ratchet
right.
as horrific mech Sadies with no heads.
Well, it's funny.
I'm
Like, I was gonna say Soundwave. I mean, he was probably one of the best G1 figures from back in the day. I mean, there's probably not a whole lot that you actually have to do to that, just other than give him a little more articulation.
That's
I
really
mean,
it. Yeah.
I will buy anything they do in this line. At least one of every character, right? Like if they're doing a bunch of repaints and stuff, then no. But like it's what they could do with the Optimus. I feel is it makes me curious what they could do with the other ones and what they would do. Like G1 Megatron, you can put some more articulation in, but he's still going to be gangly as all get out, right? Like it's not a pretty figure. It's ugly and narrow all over the place. It's just weird. Whereas like Optimus had, even the G1 toy has decent looking proportions. As far as that goes. Like all the Carbots, you could pop some knees in them and stuff, but they have decent arm articulation compared to for the era, right? Um, so I wonder what they could do that would make it worth doing. And that doesn't mean they couldn't, because they're smarter than I am, more
Right.
creative than I am. They could definitely do like the mini bots. They could definitely give some articulation to those little dudes. But like even the Seekers, the way that toy works, it's everything pops off, right? Like even the legs.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, I guess you can give them some knees, you can give them hips, I guess.
You
I
can
wonder
give
what
him
they could do.
actual legs. You can remold it where he actually has legs and it mostly looks the same. But I don't know what you could do with those arms because those arms are so small and like I don't know if there's enough room to sneak hands inside of the Seeker mold. Like there was enough room to sneak hands inside of Prime. I just don't know if you could really make the arms right. You could replace the legs entirely and they'd look the same in jet mode. But I don't know about those arms.
They're talented people, and I would love them to go try, right?
Yeah, why not?
Absolutely.
I'll
Like
definitely buy
Valor
it.
said in the chat, one I've been thinking about is Magnus. Like that would be the easy thing to do, right? Just remake the Magnus trailer where it comes apart enough where this guy wears it and it moves still, right? Like that's a pretty easy one. But is Magnus the next thing we would want from Missing Link, no, we'd want another original cast member, right? We want a Starscream or a Megatron or a Bumblebee to go with this Optimus, not a Magnus to remind us of the movie.
One of the G1 toys I never got, and it's not even it's Diaclone, but like I always wanted a big powered, which for anybody that doesn't know, that's like in the Masterpiece line they call him Delta Magnus now. Usually, if they repaint Ultra Magnus in those colors, call it Delta Magnus. Like I wanted that toy for a long time, and I could get it now, but I don't think it's worth what it costs. So like if they did Missing Link Ultra Magnus, more importantly to me is they would likely to be to repaint it into the big powered / Delta Magnus, and that would be cool to me. So, but I agree with you, Anna. It would be weird if they jumped to Ultra Magnus before doing, the top 5, like Megatron, Starscream, Soundwave, Prowl. I don't know who else.
I mean, I could see them just doing it like how they did back in the day and just release a white Prime. Like I feel like the next release in this has got to be a black Prime, right? Like they have to do a Nemesis just because like those sell really well in Japan and it's an easy repaint. So
as if this line's going to do anything else.
I mean, I don't know. It seems like this is sold pretty well. I don't know. Who knows?
I feel like this is really darn niche. Like, just finding cast members who had it was kind of hard. When I talked about it in book club last week, I was the only member of book club to have one, right? Like, I feel like there's a lot of people who just see this and say, what's the point? And that's fine.
I want to add, Anna, that probably the majority of the cast has it. They just haven't opened it yet. Or they may have not received it yet.
Like Nick, Peter, and Rick, I'm sure all have it.
Right.
Like you say that, but at the same time, how many on the cast have Masterpiece Hoist that just came out? I just happen to have it sitting here.
True.
That's a mainline Takara product in a popular line, right? And I think from our cast member, it's probably me, Peter, Nick, Rick. And Peter, Nick, Rick are just being the we buy everything official, club. So yeah.
Yeah, if they even get around to opening it, that'll be surprising.
Right.
I've still seen a lot of people online talking about how they don't think this looks good, and
what are they comparing
they're not
it to?
entirely right. They're not entirely wrong. Like it looks like G1 Prime, and does he look good compared to the toys of today? Not really.
Oh.
But this is pure nostalgia product. That's all it's for. It's just for us to hold it and be like, well, it's like the toy I had that it moves. Woo! And that's it. And that's what you get from it. And it does it super well. Like I'm very happy with this. When I first saw pictures of people getting it in hand when the Japanese release came into people's hands, at first I said, ooh, it just looks like G1 Prime. I'm not gonna like it. I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna dislike it. And then I actually watched someone playing with it in a video for a second and watching it move. It was like, oh, okay, yeah, it does it for me. And when I got it, it's like, yeah, this definitely does it for me.
Oh, RR0722. I feel like I'm talking to AI. Yeah, sorry. Earlier when I was saying big powered, I meant powered convoy. Big powered is the 3-piece set from Zone. That's Atlas and a couple other guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew you were saying it wrong. I just can't bring myself to correct people. This is not something I'm good at doing.
Please do. My brain was totally thinking,
Sonic
powered convoy, but the different words came out. Yeah. But not anybody, I feel complete confidence saying anybody that said that doesn't look good, they're stupid. Like, what did you think this was going to be? It's supposed to look like G1 Optimus Prime, and if you don't articulate it, other than the Matrix, it looks like G1 Optimus Prime. Mission accomplished. That was the point. Yeah, so like, I don't.
You know what's funny is I was kind of like playfully being like, you can pull out the Matrix if you don't want it there earlier, right? Honestly, as soon as I pulled it out, I like it better. Like, I really do. When I look at it, I'm
Really?
like, oh, that looks right now. It doesn't look weird anymore. Okay, cool. Because that's what the
See,
G1 toy looks like. You didn't have a
right.
Matrix house.
True, true.
He
So,
has a freaking hole to his back. And I like that better, which is totally out of character for me.
right? You're
I think
like, oh, it looks more hollow. Like, that's what Anna likes.
Yes, hollowness. That's what I wanted. Ooh.
the thing is, again, like,
Oh,
so
goodness.
here's, the new Missing Link Prime with his doodads, and here's how my G1 and again my TF Club reissue has looked for 20 years on my shelf. So like I'm used to him having the Matrix in there at this point and having an axe and and he's even got a jetpack again from that add-on kit. So like to me it looks fine, but it's cool that you can take it out. So if you don't want it, or you feel
Right.
different one day, different the other, do what you want. Or you know what?
Taking out my
It's two
Matrix
of them, you
house.
display it both ways.
Taking out the Matrix house reminds me of something that I've noticed looking at the toy that just like it's a stupid nitpick that doesn't actually matter, doesn't actually impact the quality of the toy, and I don't notice it most of the time. But if you look inside the Matrix house up towards the neck, um, on mine, you can see that on either side there's a pretty strong sprue mark where the plastic was removed from the sprue. On the back of the lower legs, there are also multiple visible sprue marks,
Yeah.
and mine even has a spot of paint overspray. It kind of bugs me because this is a like fancy ass collector item. That there are those sprue marks. They're in places where they're hidden, so maybe I shouldn't really complain about them too much. Like, two are
Isn't
inside
it,
the chest and two are on the
isn't
back
it
of the
part of the
leg.
nostalgia to have sprue marks, Anna?
What's funny is I wouldn't remember them because back then I was a child and I didn't sit around and be like, Mom, this has sprue marks. I hate it. Right? That didn't happen.
My reissue,
So,
they're in different spots, but the reissue does have some sprue marks on the back calves. The legs, I don't know where the sprue marks are. They're covered up better.
there's also a sprue mark on the
On the side
head
of the
plate.
arm.
The head plate has a sprue mark on it by where his neck would be.
I'm not seeing those. I don't know if mine just got cut
Mine's
better. Oh wait,
mine's
nope, I
south
see
of
it.
the right eyeball.
I
Yeah.
see it. Yep. And then
Yeah,
look
and it's
under the
like,
arm. Look right there, and like his weird in the wheel hub of his arm.
oh, yep, see it screaming at me. Hello, sprue mark.
I'm ruining this toy for you.
So the thing is, like, when I do model kits, right, I sit there and I spend effing hours getting the
Filing
sprue
it.
marks out, right? Like, I go crazy trying to cut it as close as I can. And if a sprue mark's still there, I'm filing it. And, it drives me crazy to have to do that every time. And just seeing, this toy doesn't have my level of crazy applied to it. Well, that probably means the person who assembled it's actually healthier than I am. I go kind of wild on it. Yeah, Zeldrin's right. I did, in fact, make everyone have to buy front teeth for their Studio Series 86 Grimlock when I pointed out that he was missing his front teeth. I feel like the entire book club had to go buy a freaking add-on kit to put front teeth on their Studio Series Grimlock because of it.
I mean, or maybe the toy
I
could have
couldn't
just came
unsee
with it.
I saw it and I was like, oh, there's no front teeth on this thing. He's got this weird, like, he took a punch wrong and he lost all his front teeth. That's sad for him. And yeah, I just couldn't unsee it. Okay, so an Anna feature here is I actually still have two of the old Impossible Toys Bumble Jumper guys. And these are essentially Missing Link figures, right? They are made to look a lot like the original toys. They're made to be similar in size. And then they added articulation. There we are, another friend.
This is the only one I bought from it. I bought the Wasp repaint to put with animated, so it's over there. And
I
these
had
things,
all of those. I don't know what the heck I did with mine. Sold them somewhere.
I feel like
So
a lot of the Impossible Toys stuff really went up in value, which is funny because
probably.
they were considered dog shit tier, and so much of their, especially the last stuff they did, which was the mini bots and the Seekers, were clearance super hard. And I don't know if
Yeah.
that's still the case.
Right.
I don't know if enough stuff has came out in the main line to make them not be valuable anymore. But yeah, literally, Animal. When I was saying earlier, like they could do the mini bots, I was thinking of this in my head.
Yeah. So having the missing link convoy beside this uplifts the crap out of it. Like this kind of looks bad, like the finish on it, the plastic, the movement, everything kind of
It's
looks
knockoff stuff.
eh. It's what?
It's like almost knockoff level plastic.
Yeah. It feels like a knockoff style. But then you put it beside your convoy and it looks more right with him than a new mainline figure would. It looks more right with him than a G1 figure would. It's his friend. It goes with him. So now I'm going to enjoy my two little Impossible Toys mini bots more because they can live with Missy Link Optimus,
What's
Missy
the other
Link
one you
Glyph,
have?
and Missy Link Tap Out. I have
Out.
Glyph and Tap Out.
Cool.
I do have I can't remember if it's Bumblebee or Bumble Jumper or Bumble something. It's a yellow toy. I do still have
Hubcap.
one yellow one in a random box somewhere. I don't even know where he is, but I do still have him because I was going to use him to make a custom, and then I never got around to it.
Yeah, I remember back in the day, didn't BBTS like clearance? Like I swear that I got them for like $50 for all 9 of them of the middle mini bots. I could be wrong on that, but
that feels a little cheap even for that, but it wouldn't surprise me at the same time.
It was
no, they
was
were that low. They went really low.
Okay, yeah.
Because I got mine. I got like 7 in a lot that I bought, and like the entire lot was like $100, and it had these guys, that it had who made the old Gears and Swerve and
iGear.
That was iGear.
iGear. It had a bunch of so it was a bunch of the iGear. It was an old Hexatron and a bunch of these guys for like $100. And it was just the funnest box to play with because it was all that old third party that was not the quality that we're used to these days, but it was still fun. It was a great time. And I ended up selling all of it over the years.
Hey, it's okay to buy things, enjoy them for a little while, and then move on with them. That's okay.
Yeah. So I'm really happy with this guy. I was afraid I wouldn't be, and I am pleasantly surprised. Since I first thought he was going to be great, then I changed my mind, and now I'm back.
No, I definitely dig it. I'd put it like 8.5, 9 out of 10. Something like that. Like there's a few things I wish they'd addressed, like the ability to give him a full waist swivel, and I would have been okay if they'd have put a couple more niceties in there. But the biggest knock is just that roller doesn't launch anymore for me. But everything else about it's really cool. So I'm in.
Yeah, I would agree too. And I think that, for me, since it's Optimus Prime, that like, even if this is the only figure that they ever do out of the line, like it's an Optimus Prime, so it's like you already have 50 Optimus Prime, so why not?
He works as a standalone piece.
Right.
If you want it to. Which again, where are y'all going to put yours? Because I don't have room on my G1 spot to put this Optimus Prime next to the other one. It's too busy there.
I have no
and
idea.
I don't know where else to. Yeah.
I have nowhere to put it. I don't know. I need to be like Anna and just make it a despot or something, right?
Yeah, it's gonna go to work and it's gonna go on a shelf. I'm just gonna have a shelf with it, the 2 Impossible Toys guys, and the reissue Hot Rod and Hound that were $10 at Walmart. And they're just going to be a shelf of like, hey, I'm a Transformers collector. Students, look at me. And they're going to be like, wow, you're super weird. And
is that the Hot Rod with its has the recolor on it or whatever?
Yeah, the Hot Rod and the Hound that are
the pink
colors.
Yeah, I have that guy over there. Like him, I had a spot for, within my G1 collection where, there
Right.
was room. It's just the spots I would put Prime, there's not room there.
Because you already have your
Well, you obviously
20-year-old
have to get rid of
reissue.
your reissue now. Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Reissue's just
And
got to go, replaced by the missing link.
So
I don't think I could do
it
that. Oh,
is it weird potentially that your reissue is older than the original G1 was when the reissue came out?
I think they were the same age,
They're about the
actually.
same age. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, that had crossed my mind. We old, we know.
Yep.
Yeah, it's coming for us.
I think
And
the
the only
Like,
thing
only
I have,
one thing I was just gonna say about like Optimus Prime reissues and whatever, right? Like, they've reissued that G1 Optimus Prime like 50 billion times, right? And so like that's where I kind of appreciate this. That it's like if they would have reissued another Optimus Prime, like I don't know, maybe since I don't have one with the trailer, like maybe I would have gotten it, but
we definitely wouldn't be talking about it.
yeah, no, definitely not. So like that's where I kind of appreciate this that it's at least something different comparatively.
so Lucas and I both said that if they do more Missing Link, we want it to be Ironhide and Ratchet because we want to see what they do. What do you want it to be, Rob?
I need them to present me with a slate of ideas, and then I will rank them. Like I mean, I guess the hollowness of the cab, I think they would have to put new parts in there that could flip up to give him a head and potentially shoulders or something, right? But it's still going to look really terrible because the lower half of that toy is garbage as well. Like we all focus on he doesn't have a head. It has a sticker face at most. But like I don't think there's any saving that toy, to be honest. That's like I don't know if I dislike that toy more or less than Bullet Bike, which is like one of the worst figures ever as well. So I don't know. What about you?
Well, that's where I feel like if they by some miracle actually made it like decent, you're like, wow, that like this is kind of crazy that they actually did this.
See, I don't want it to be decent. I want it to be the G1 toy with
Right.
articulation. I want it to not have a head. I want the head to be optional, like that Matrix spot, so I can just pop that head off and toss it to the garbage. Because I just want weird Walker mech freak out of a van with a sled that it hangs out with and puts its toys on. I just want the weirdo. Those are like the only two G1 figures I actively track down complete copies of because I always wanted them as a child because they're so darn weird in the context of a G1 character, right? Like in the line they were actually released in, they weren't that weird. They were just things for people to pilot.
Yeah. In
But
Diaclone, they made a lot more sense, but
Right.
way
in
more
Trans
sense.
Right.
stick out.
So Phil said Jazz,
Jazz would be a good
and
one.
Zeldron said Missing Link Rodimus Prime.
Oh yeah, Rodimus Prime is a crap toy. He has
He
nothing.
is.
So yeah,
Could you save it?
I mean, imagine him having shoulder, elbow, hip, and knee
Yeah.
articulation. Like
Give him legs.
instead of him just being looking like a popsicle stick, he could.
Yeah.
And then plus he's got a fun trailer, So
He does have a fun trailer.
Yeah.
Not
But
if
Yeah,
you
I
getting
don't
a
know. Like, I think the Seekers would be pretty neat to see if like they could actually fix those too.
if this sold well enough, the Seekers and I think the Car Bros would make sense just because of the repaints.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
I
The
agree with
Seekers
that.
do immediately three, not just repaints, but characters, and then some remolds, and you get the cone heads. There's a lot of bang for your buck, but I have
Deal.
no idea how this did or how much re-engineering they would have to do to make it be worth doing.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know either. I want him to move on though. I want him to keep doing it. Even if it's just like one a year, like even if
Yeah.
they go nice and slow with it. and put it out slowly. Or I'd be kind of bummed if it was like 45th anniversary before we got, gosh, that's a horrible number to say out loud, but 45th anniversary is when we get it. That would be kind of a bummer.
My like part of me doesn't disagree with you, because also like where am I going to put them, But
Right.
but that aside, like I don't know, I'm going to start dying before Takara finishes anything.
Right.
Like they haven't finished season 1 of Beast Wars. They haven't finished an entire series of Transformers. They're a little here, a little there. If it wasn't for third party, collecting Masterpiece would be super boring. With third party, I got almost everything. Like yeah, I'll replace stuff over time, but them slow rolling this is just. Oh, I just thought of it. I know who I want them to do next. I'll tie it back to a podcast from the other day. Missing Link Unicron. That's it. That's perfect, right?
There you go.
It is actually kind of perfect. Yeah.
Oh, I'd be so over that, all over that. Oh, drilling like Homer.
No, that would be perfect because it really is a missing link for the franchise.
Isn't it?
It's something that never made it out of the prototype stage.
That would be fun.
And I guess it would be the missing link to the HasLab.
Right? Yeah, for everyone that couldn't afford the HasLab, but whenever it's like, here you go.
I'm really glad this wasn't the HasLab. I could have seen this being the HasLab this year for the 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
Like if they had done this as the HasLab, I think that would have made perfect sense for them to do. And I'm really glad they did it. I'm glad this was just a normal Takara release and that left the HasLab open to do something else.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like that the HasLab for Transformers, they're really trying to get them to fit in with the mainline figures. And so,
they definitely are.
This definitely does not.
I mean, like, I don't want them to feel afraid to do weird, totally different things, but I feel like that's where they've found their niche, and that's where they're going to stay, is stuff that fits in with the mainline collection. Characters that they just don't want to do at retail.
And for Classified, they're going to do the big vehicles. Like, they're just going to do the things that are safe now because they've succeeded so well.
No more Cookie Monsters.
Yeah, no more Cookie Monsters. Sadly.
I think we've mentioned it before on other shows where like Missing Link has just tangentially been brought up. But like this is something a lot of us were asking for literally 20 years ago when we started getting reissues. We're like, oh man, I just want the G1 figures but with some updated articulation. And it's like, hey, one of them finally happened. So that's cool.
I think that's cool too.
Like I said, we may not get any more, but at least we got Prime.
If Christian was here tonight, there's something he's been talking about, and that's according to the leak list and the rumor mills, apparently there's going to be some version of a Hasbro version of this coming out. Like, I think it's been said to be roughly deluxe size, and an Optimus Prime is supposed to be G1 style. And the construal that he has come to, and I'm not so sure if it's like everyone who's really looked deep into it has made the same decision, or if he's just kind of made a bit of a leap, is that they're going to release something, kind of at retail that's going to somehow be an articulated G1 Prime. Now, it could be a fully rebuilt mold like this one. It would feel pointless to do that since Takara already did it. Or it could simply be a modern Optimus toy done up in G1 toy colors.
I can't imagine that they would like release like this original mold like as a deluxe. Like, I mean, it seems like a $25 figure. It seems like it'd be hard to do.
If anything, if we look at what Hasbro has been willing to do lately, I could see a G1 reissue with different paint apps to, like they did with Hot Rod and Hound and whatever.
Right.
I could see that too.
You know, the Cassette Bros, you know, stuff like that. That would make sense, and you know, be
Right.
I
on
could
brand.
I could see them making a deluxe size Optimus Prime toy just to get him on the shelf and get a $25 Optimus to sell to people, and then do him in the toy colors and say that's G1 commemorative. Maybe charge $30 for him and call him premium. Put some chrome on him. I could see them doing that. I don't
Yeah.
really see them doing the same thing Takara did though, just because
No
Takara's
way.
already done it and this thing exists.
Right.
Like, and I can't imagine. I mean, maybe they would bring just the toy to a U.S. audience. Like, I think there's a world where that happens. I don't know. I don't know where it would be sold other than just on Pulse. You know, like you can buy Takara Masterpiece stuff on Pulse. You know, it's in the black box. So, I mean, I guess they've kind of already done that. So I don't know.
I mean, they've done plenty of the G1 reissues at mainline, like at Walmart. So.
Yeah. Like I said, the reissues, yeah, just like Anna was saying though, like, I don't see them doing this. I don't see them taking this figure and releasing it on the stuff or building something new.
So I've been thinking about this a lot just because Christian brings it up quite often. So what if what they actually did wasn't a deluxe size Optimus at all, but they used the trailer from that core class set they did with Bumblebee? So they made the nice little trailer that Phil told us earlier was a lot of fun. I've heard it's a very fun set. They took that trailer and then they made a little core class figure that was simplified to look like G1 Optimus. I can see something like that happening.
Well, they
just
already
like a little
released a core Optimus, though.
Yeah, but like make a new core Optimus that's like a simple G1 look.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's unlikely, but I think it could happen.
That doesn't seem like like the totally no way. It's like it's something they already have, and then a simple core class figure. You know, it's not a huge investment there.
I see that more than the deluxe, but we could be surprised. They're doing a lot of things that I would have thought would be too obscure for them to bother with lately.
True.
The Hasbro team has been really just pulling out some stuff where it's like, really? There's enough of an audience for that? They're like, we don't care. We're releasing toys. We do what we want. And it's like, okay, sure. I'm good with that.
Sign me
so
up.
maybe something like that happens. I would have fun with it. Like, I definitely own enough Optimus Prime toys for one lifetime, but if they're amusing enough, I'll buy more.
Yep. I was gonna mention, so I think next week we'll probably do a wrap up of all of the streams. I figured it probably might as well just wait since they've, doing one every week. It seems silly to break them down individually, so probably do that next week.
It's funny because the show I really want to do is I really want to cover the first 6 issues of the comic.
When's the 6th issue coming out?
It's out. So
okay,
sometime
so you gotta wait till when is it gonna go down to $2?
I have no idea when it goes down to $2.
Just let me know when it goes down. I think it's like a week later or 2 weeks later or something like that.
Isn't it when issue 7 comes out? Because I thought it first went down to $3. Then
I don't know. Well, like 4 and 5, I think I bought it at $2. So I don't know, whatever it is on the app or whatever. So
not to spoil when you get to that, but would you recommend people go read it if they're not reading it?
That's a really good question. I would recommend, if you like a very actiony story and you're not looking for something that's like this big long form storyline, then yeah, I'd say, go have fun with it. That's fine. If you're looking for the next IDW run, I really don't expect this to go that direction.
Do you mean IDW V1 or V2?
Either one. Either one had a long, continuous storyline, right? Yeah. Like they were They were long, they were full of drama and drama stories and character development and stuff. This is more action movie style. It's a different style, and it's more for someone who wants to enjoy a 6-issue action story.
Fair enough.
It did not tie itself up with a bow in the way we expected, though, so there will be a continuing on.
Right.
But I just don't think it's going to be that level of engagement.
They weren't buying the license to be like, or doing the license to be like, all right, 6 issues, we're out. Now it's all going to be G.I. Joe.
Good job.
No, I
G.I. Joe's where the real money
mostly
is.
Be unrelated.
Right.
Right.
Turns out they're not even actually Transformers. They're piloted by G.I. Joe. That was the secret the whole time. You is right.
But yeah,
issue 6 is not $2 yet, Lucas. I'll let you know when it is.
All right, just let me know. I was gonna say though too, with like the new comics, like I don't know, I don't know that we're ever gonna be able to get an IDW again, if that makes sense, or like the original one. I mean, it was just something completely different. You know,
I would say
I don't know.
Never say never, but I feel like Hasbro's really meddling in the creative stuff these days.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and maybe with Skybound they backed off. I don't know if they did or not, but I'm heavily, you know, we know for a fact that a lot of times Hasbro was meddling instead of just letting the creators tell the stories they wanted, you know, within a limit, you know. I could see them objecting to like gross mischaracterizations that don't make sense within the narrative or something, but yeah, that aside, you know, I'd rather they stay hands off. So hopefully they are with the Skybound stuff. I know some people are definitely digging it. I haven't read
I feel
any
like
of
they
it.
got to be hands off, because there's no, like, they're not following the toy line at all, right? They're not introducing characters that have new toys or anything.
Good.
And the drawings don't look like the toys. So
Catherine
I
makes a
think they're not
fantastic
meddling.
point that they have to kill everyone off so that they can make them zombies. Because Skybound, Kirkman's the Walking Dead guy, right?
Yeah, but he's also like invincible, which is extremely good and popular, and that's not zombies.
Right. Yeah.
It is very violent though, just like Walking Dead.
Right. So, well, guys, thanks for joining me this week. It's nice to kind of get back into the Microcasters groove.
Yeah, toy reviewing.
Yeah. So thank you, and we'll see everybody next week.
Bye.